Hello, Taurus. This is your 2019 year in advance. Now, if you're not Taurus or your moon is Taurus, your moon sign is a Taurus, you're going to want to watch this video, okay? Your ascendant or your rising sign is a Taurus. I forgot to mention that on the other video. So if you're not one of these signs, you can go ahead and watch just for the heck of it, but your sign will be coming, okay? So just keep following or subscribe so that way you know when your sign's video will be here, okay? Will be live. Now, this is a 2019 year in advance, but it's a general year in advance for all Taurus, okay? For all of the bulls out there who watch the video or who don't watch the video, this is for you guys. So it's going to be very, very generalized. Some of it might make a lot of sense, and other months might be like, what are you talking about? That is because it's not particular for you. Okay, it's not specific to you. If you love the way I read, if you really like the way I read, and you want to get your own reading for you only, you're going to go to the website, bluerainorchid.com, and that's where you're going to purchase your reading for you only. Okay, so I'm going to pull out 12 cards. I've shuffled the deck. It's really hard to do it with one hand, so I've shuffled the deck. I'm going to cut it for you so that way you see it's not pre-planned, and then I will pull 12 cards. I'm going to do 4, 4, 4. So we're going to read 2019 in trimesters. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me pick it up so you can see exactly how I'm cutting it. Right there. All right. So now we have your shuffled cut deck. Okay. How I said, I'm going to pull 4 cards, 4 cards, 4 cards. So this card is for January 2019. Let me move this up here so you can see I'm just pulling from the top. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay, so Taurus, this is your 2019 year in advance. Now, the way I'm going to read this is sort of as each card for that particular month is going to tell me a story of what's going to be going on. Okay, so I'll pull the card, I'll flip it around, and I'll tell you what that card has to say. If there are any spirits around, I'll let you know what the spirits are saying. And that'll be pretty much what's in store for you generally for that month. All right, ready to go? Okay. January 2019. I'm just going to pull it over here so that way we can have a little bit better lighting. Our keyword is vulnerability. Okay. Look at how beautiful these flowers are. They're sunflowers and asters, maybe? I'm not sure. Don't know the purple ones. Okay, look at how beautiful they are. Look at how abundant they are. Here in this section, there's a whole bunch of flowers growing. Over here, there's a lot of green growing. And then as we get closer to the mountain, we start to see that it's no longer that green, right? The grass is way greener on this side than it is over here on this side, right? Okay, and then the hill or the mountain means there's a little bit of struggle. So in January, you're feeling awesome. You're feeling like everything is perfect. You're feeling abundant. You feel prosperous. You feel like everything is perfect. But as the month begins to taper out, you're starting to feel like it's not that wonderful anymore. You're exhausted. You're tired of pushing so hard to get what you want done. And you know what, Taurus? You're probably tired of people putting so many expectations on you, right? People want you to do all of the stuff for them. People want you to do all of the things for them. Why? Because you guys are strong and you handle, right? You cope. A lot of the Tauruses I know will just continue and continue and continue and just keep doing it until they're backed into a corner and then they're ready to charge and out come the horns and people are shocked because they don't understand why their horns are out. This is kind of what's going to be happening. It's amazing. Everything is wonderful. You're getting frustrated. You're getting tired. You're getting exhausted. You're going to have to go through a struggle. And this end of the month is probably your horns are going to be coming out. You're probably about ready to explode by the end of the month, okay? So I want you to be very, very careful with who you explode with. I want you to pay attention as soon as you get into this place where it's kind of like, ugh, why do they always want me to do all of this? Why do they never do it themselves? Why am I always the one who has to do it? I want you to very politely, very respectfully, very nicely say no. And I want you to do it and keep your boundaries when you say no. Okay? Because I know Taurus, you'll say, oh no, I don't want to do that, but you end up doing it anyways. Why? Because you didn't stand your ground. And then you end up in the corner and your horns come out and you stampede everybody. Even people who weren't pushing you. So be very, very careful, okay? This year also, it's going to be a lot of you paying attention, you learning your cycle. What is wonderful? What's wonderful? What are you starting to get frustrated with? What becomes the challenge? When do your horns come out? Okay? So start paying really close attention to this in January, but also throughout the whole year. That way you're not exploding and people aren't saying you're horribly mean. February. Okay, so I want to show you just what the Spirit yelled at me. You've got a whole bunch of blessings. You've got a whole bunch of abundance. Everything's awesome. You're starting to get frustrated. You have to go uphill. What's on the other side of the hill? Blessings. Okay? So at the end of the month, when you're frustrated, when you're working really hard and you're angry that nobody is working with you, there's blessings on the other side. Remember that. Okay, remember that there's blessings on the other side. Remember there's beautiful skies. If you happen to be somebody who loves rain, then there's rain coming for you. If not, the rain brings in the rainbows. The spring showers bring, or April showers bring May flowers, right? It's going to be kind of February for you on this part, okay? Now, even though we've got some cloudy skies happening right here, you see this? We've got beautiful skies just right over the corner. No matter what happens in February, no matter what happens in January, you'll always be able to get through the storms. But sometimes it's better to not have the storm, right? Sometimes it's better to not have to make up with people that you hurt when you lost your cool. Especially if they weren't the person that you needed to have your cool lost with. Because Taurus, come on, be honest. Once those horns come out, everybody's going to get some, right? Even the people who don't deserve it. So pay very close attention, okay? I also want to use these two cards for the full year. If you can pay attention to what your cycle is, who's the one who pushes you into the corner the most? Who is the one who always causes your horns to be shown? And then who are the people who get the horns the most? As soon as you can understand this cycle of your frustration, of your anger, because Taurus, come on, you've got anger issues. You can start understanding who gets your anger, the blunt of your anger, who gets the anger directed at them most, and usually it's not the person who deserves it. So if you can stop doing that to that particular person, that would become a blessing to that relationship, okay? That'll become a blessing to you because it'll start saving relationships. Because, bull, it's a real pain in the ass to pick up all of the broken china pieces, isn't it? Don't be the bull in the china shop, losing your cool and busting everything. Because picking that up or paying for it afterwards is really uncool. For you, not for them. But for them too. Okay, March. I'm going to bring it over here. We have innocence. Okay, so February and January, I've been telling you, watch your anchor cycles. Watch the cycle of being put into the corner and who gets hurt because of that. Once you understand that, look at how happy and peaceful this picture is. Once you understand who causes you to be pushed into the corner, what situations cause you to be pushed into the corner, then you will understand who should be seeing your horns. You'll understand what your boundaries need to be. You'll understand who gets the horns even though they don't need them. They don't want them. They understand your horns very, very well. And more likely than not, they tiptoe around you once they start seeing the signs of you're being pushed into the corner, so that way they don't get the horns. Let's be nice to them and not give them the horns. Let's be nice to you and understand that as soon as you can understand this, and please, Taurus, don't be mad at me, because this is not something that is like, oh, I'm picking on Taurus, okay? This is something you need to hear, all right? So, March, if you do the work in January and February, March is going to be awesome for you. Also, because you are an earth sign. If you live in a place where where you've got snow, and the snow's starting to melt, get out into the dirt. Get out into earth, into nature. Even though it's still kind of groggy and muddy and sleepy and slushy and all of that stuff, get out there anyways, because you need to be near the soil, okay? That's going to also help bring you peace. And that's something that you might want to consider for a while. If you live in a place where you have like really bad snowstorms, really bad winters, and you're a Taurus, you might want to get a big pot, a big like flower pot, and just fill it up with sand. If you're not a green thumb, I know a lot of Tauruses that are not green thumbs, and everyone's like, oh, well, Taurus is an earth sign. It is the earth sign. You should be an awesome gardener, and you're not. Just get the dirt, so that way you can just put your hands in it. No worries, no stress about gardening, about keeping anything alive. You're just putting your hands in dirt, okay? I know a lot of people I've recommended that to, and that helps keep them calm. Okay, April. April, we have a card of compassion. All right. So, your beginning of the year, February and January, seems to be a lot of, you need to learn to control your anger. You need to learn to control who sees your horns. You need to learn to control your frustration. You need to learn to be compassionate, right? So April is going to give you lots of chances to test your compassion. Now, you're going to go, but my spouse is a jerk to me. Especially if you come back and watch this in April, right? If you're back and watching this in April, you're going to go, but that person is such a jerk. But that person, I've tried and tried and tried, and they won't let me keep my boundaries. And you're just going to be frustrated as hell, okay? And you're probably going to try to put your horns out at me. Compassion. Compassion for you. This is a new process for you. This is a new learning situation for you. You're not going to learn it in a couple of days. You can bust right through it, and you can have it understood in a few days, especially if you put in a lot of time to try to understand it, especially if you do a lot of shadow working, especially if you do a lot of inner reflection. You can have it understood in a little while. But Taurus, you're also one of the signs that is a very loving, loyal, compassionate sign. So, in April, you need to be giving yourself some compassion, because I know you don't do that. And you need to be looking at who receives so much compassion from you that they're able to break through your barriers. They're able to convince you of saying yes when you've said no. Okay? So the sign, this card, I would normally tell people that you need to be nicer to people. And yes, this is true for you. But you need to be nicer to yourself. And then Taurus, you really need to look at who you are too nice to. Okay? There are some people that can do whatever they want to you, and you allow it because you are too nice to them. And because you are Taurus, I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's the people that you are the most loyal to who do this. It's the people you love the most that push you the most. And not always for a good way. Okay? So in April, I want you to be really paying attention to compassion, okay? And for April Bulls, happy birthday. May Bulls, happy birthday. Okay, so for May, we have perspective. Okay, I love that we have being compassionate and having perspective right after each other, and especially for your birthday months. Okay? Why? Because I just said you need to know who you are the most compassionate to, right? Who do you allow to push you the most? Who do you allow to get you into the corner? Who causes those horns to come out? but usually they don't get it because you're too loyal to them. Who causes those horns to come out? And then somebody else that is very close to you, that you love very much, gets it because they're closer and they're willing to forgive you. Are you giving yourself compassion, right? Everything I just told you to be doing in April, you're going to kind of be doing the same thing in May, because now you're really putting this into perspective. Okay? Now, you're putting yourself into perspective also. And I know, Taurus, you don't like this. It's very uncomfortable for you. Especially everything I've been telling you so far about change, right? Oh my God, I didn't even realize I'm asking you guys to change. You are like totally closed off to this reading right now, aren't you? Perspective for me also. No, Taurus, please, please, please. I know you don't like change. I know change is just like, it's a trigger word for you, right? But let's put it into perspective. If you make these differences, if you change, and I use the trigger word, I'm sorry, if you change the way you think, the way you see, the way you understand, is that change really going to be bad? Or is that change going to be good? It's going to be good. Now, I know, changing your boundaries, I just said something that's like incomprehensible, right? It's important to though. So maybe up until May, look into the dictionary. Here's a little assignment for you, right? Look into the dictionary and find a word that has the same meaning as change that you like, that you will work with, that is better for you than the word change. So that way you can do that word, okay? Your perspective on the word change, we need to change that also. Sorry. Okay, June. We have Earth magic, fairies. Okay, I love, love, love that this showed up for my Earth signs. Okay, for you guys, for Taurus. We've got this little fairy who is charged with taking care of the Earth, right? You also, because you are such an Earth sign, are charged with being one of the protectors of the Earth. Okay, so the key word here is magic. You are magic, Taurus. Just like the Earth is constantly changing, I haven't looked into my dictionary, sorry. Just like the Earth is constantly changing, you have the ability to constantly be changing also. You have the ability to be solid, stable ground one day and be an earthquake the next. You have the possibility of totally shredding your life apart like a wildfire would do and rebuilding everything in a forest like Earth would do. You can change, and you can change so beautifully that people would stare in awe and like, what the heck? But the fault of Taurus is they are stubborn. They are stubborn to a T. So, if this is not something you want to do, if this is not something you are willing to do, if this is something you consider to be terrifying, disgustingly horrible, whatever the word you want to use is, you're not going to do it. But this little Earth fairy has come to remind you in June, it's completely possible. You can be rebloomed by doing probably what this reading is. But you might have some other different thing that's going on in June, in May and June, that you need to really focus your attention on. Bust through your perspective and get it changed. Get the magic going for you. Okay? Now, here we have July. Instinct. Okay, so take a look at the picture. We've got the wolf here, which is a very earth-like animal, is very connected to the earth. It would have been really awesome if it was a bull or a buffalo or something along that line, but we'll go with the wolf. It's very connected with the earth. Now take a look at the earth. We have snow. We've got snow in the trees over here. We have mountains. This is a very earth-like picture, right? And it's stating instinct is the key word. What is your instinct telling you in July? I want you to come back in July, okay? And I want you to fast forward to about 19 minutes All right? And I want you to watch this section. What is your instinct telling you? You are being very, very cold. You're trying to freeze everything so that way it doesn't have to change. Because this is what we've been talking about for the past couple of months. Change, change, change. You don't want to. You would rather freeze everything and keep it frozen and unable to move and still rather than change. Why? What is scaring you? What is your instinct telling you that's keeping you trying to keep it frozen? What are you afraid of? Okay? Now, I want you to think about this. Somebody told me this a couple of years ago, and it has stuck with me because it was one of the most powerful things I was told. And it still is one of the most powerful things that I've ever heard. The reaction to fear, to stress, to uneasiness, having a racing heart, having your butterflies in your stomach, having a sick to your stomach feeling, being a little nauseous, being a little lightheaded, maybe having sweaty, clammy hands, is the exact same reaction we have to excitement. Racing heart, a little bit of butterflies in our stomach, being so excited and our blood pressure shooting up because we're so excited that we get dizzy. Kind of being sweaty, kind of having clammy hands. This is one of the reactions to being excited also. So, are your instincts truly telling you this is something to be afraid of? Are your instincts truly telling you this is something that you shouldn't be doing? Or are your instincts telling you this is exciting, this is going to be so amazing, I'm so ready for this? But you're understanding it in a way that it's not meant to be understood. Okay? So, while I was just saying that, for the first time that I've had this deck, and I've had this deck for years, I just saw there's a human face in this mountain. Can you see that? Let me zoom in a little bit, sorry. We have an eye right here, and we have an eye right here. Here are lips. Here is nostrils. Do you see this? It's a human face in the mountain. So when I was talking, it was just a mountain. When I was talking about the difference between fear and excitement, and there really not being any difference, and following your instinct, because your instinct you might be understanding differently, a hidden figure showed up. Okay, now, normally we go, oh my god, a hidden figure, it's going to be terrifying, something is so wrong, ghosts, right? A hidden figure also means that we didn't see or understand what we thought we saw and what we thought we understood. So when your instincts are freaking out and you're trying to keep everything frozen to avoid change because it's going to be scary, this hidden figure is saying there's so much stuff you don't even see. There's so much stuff that's going to change that you can't even see them right now because you are so scared. But you're probably even misjudging your fear. It's probably excitement. So, trust your instincts, but understand your instincts. Trust your gut, but know exactly what your gut is saying. All right? So, August. We're moving right along, aren't we? Veiled. All right, so in July, you went ahead and moved on with the change, right? And you're expecting this beautiful change to happen right now. No, it's going to take a little while. All of the things that you were working on are still veiled. It's still foggy. We still can't see everything. We see some trees, we see some mountains, we see the sunlight, right? But there's still so much fog, and it's like, what on earth were you talking about, Maria? There's nothing here for me. I should have stayed frozen. Okay, when there's too much water in the atmosphere, right? And it's cold, but it's trying to heat up, we get fog. So, you had everything frozen. It tried to heat up. It created too much water in the atmosphere. The water, all of this ice began to evaporate. It created fog. Your own way of reacting to change is keeping the change veiled from you for a little while longer. Okay? Is it going to be a good change? It has to be a good change because we've got the sunlight trying to break through. We've got illumination trying to break through. We have warmth trying to break through. If you are one of the people who love sunny days, then it's happiness for you. It's trying to break through. But your own stubbornness is causing that change to be out of reach for a little while longer. So in July and August, remember, it's your own stubbornness that's keeping the changes from happening the way you want them to happen at the moment you want them to happen. This one was September. Emergence is the key word. So what was veiled, remember? What was veiled is going to start showing up. Now, because Taurus, you are a cardinal, or are you're fixed, actually. You're a fixed earth sign. I don't remember right now. Honestly, my brain is going, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so you're an earth sign, and you are the head of the earth signs. Okay, there's two other earth signs with you, a total of 3. You are the head of them. This is your sign. You are like goddess, princess, high priestess, absolute president, controller of the earth signs. You're trying to keep it frozen. Your stubbornness is keeping it veiled. Now we have it showing up. Everything that you've been trying to change, or I've been asking you to change, and I'm sure you've been working on it a little bit, is beginning to show up. And what is showing up? I'm going to say she's a goddess because she's got a crown, right? And what kind of goddess is she? Obviously, she's an earth goddess because we've got flowers coming out of her hair, vines that are her hair. She has dragonflies and all sorts of other insects that are considered part of earth, also air, but part of earth. She's got flowers, all of this stuff that looks natural, right? It looks earth-like. It looks like Mother Nature in a way, doesn't she? She's showing up. What does this mean for you, Taurus? I'm going to assume that the readers or the watchers right now are female. If you are a male, then we're going to switch it to the gender that fits for you. Okay? And if, whatever, I'm not going to get into it. Whatever. We're just going to go with the picture and say female. You, as you work through your year, as you work through understanding that you are the cause, usually, for the problems that you end up having because of the way you react to them. When you give yourself compassion, when you look into yourself and understand what it is that's happening with all of the exercises that I've given you throughout the year, and you start to accept this, and you begin changing this, and then you're waiting for the change, and you're waiting for the change, and the damn change isn't coming, and you're getting really frustrated, and you're getting backed into the corner, and you want to come find me, the change is going to happen. What is the change? You are going to be goddess, princess, controller, creator of your own life. You are going to be able to control your emotions. She's sitting in water. Water is an emotion. And I don't know if she's sitting in it or if she's like totally immersed in it besides the pieces that we can see. She was immersed in it at one point. She's coming out. And I don't know why they're not showing us strips of water in her hair because of that. But anyways, she is coming out of all of these emotions. She understands her emotions. She controls her emotions. Nobody else controls her emotions for her. She creates the growth that she wants. She creates the changes that she wants. She is in absolute control. Nobody can pass her boundaries unless she allows them to. But she's not going to allow them to anymore because she doesn't need that stress anymore. She doesn't need that disrespect anymore. She chooses what she says yes to, and she chooses what she says no to, and whatever decision she gives is the decision she gives, right? So Taurus, there is no more saying, no, I really don't want to, but okay, because you want me to. You could say, I will think about it. Give me 3 days to think about it. Give me 48 hours to think about it, whatever. I'll let you know next week. And then you make your decision by what you feel comfortable doing, not by what you feel they would feel comfortable by you doing. She has no concern whatsoever about what anybody else wants her to do or needs her to do. She's doing what she needs to do to be happy, right? That is the change that 2019 will bring to you if you do the work. Okay? All right, so let's see what October has in store for you, my bulls. Unfoldment. All right. So the lotus flower is considered one of the most beautiful flowers in the world. It's also considered one of the most special flowers in the world. And why this is the lotus flower grows in mud. Yeah, you heard me, mud. Not water like a lily pad. Not earth like most flowers. It grows in sloppy, icky mud. What most people say they have to trudge through to get to where they want to be, the lotus flower finds absolute, complete perfection there. It develops there, it grows there, it thrives there. Okay? So, in October, your emergence of you being who you want to be, you might have some parts where you're like, oh my God, this is disgusting. You might have some parts where, oh my God, I don't know how I'm surviving. You might have some parts that are like, I'm confused. I don't know. But all of this work that you've done, all of this trudging through the mud that you've done, and Taurus, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up with you. If anybody can handle the shit, you can. If anybody knows how to haul that, how to move that, how to get it to one place to the other place, and how to take care of it for everybody else, you can. I want you to picture the bull in your head. I want you to picture this bull with the cart that it's being pulled. The cart is pulled. Not the cart is pulling the bull. The bull is pulling the cart. And what's in that cart? Everybody's shit. And what is the bull doing? Moving it from one place to another. Most likely from where the cows are at, from the cattle yard into the farmyard, crop yard, fields, so that way that shit can fertilize the crops. Why? Because this is what you do. Okay? Now, you have the right to say, I'm not trudging this stuff anymore. I'm not trudging it today for you. I'm not trudging it tomorrow for you. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be beautiful and I'm going to enjoy myself because Taurus, if anybody knows and loves luxury, it's also you. Just because you are the strong one, just because you get stuff done, does not mean you have to do it for everybody. You have the right to sit back, chill out, and just enjoy all of the beautiful things that you have. All of the luxurious things that you have. This is what the flower is telling you, okay? You've done all of the shit this year. Enjoy it. Luxuriate in it. All right? Take time to take care of yourself. November. Release is the key word. And look at the trees. Okay? It's totally 100% fall in this picture, right? And what does fall do? Fall prepares us for winter. And during the winter, we should spend that time within ourselves doing a lot of perspective, right? We should spend that time within ourselves planning our new year, reevaluating what's gone on this year and seeing what have I done this year. What do I still need to let go of? What did I do that I didn't like? What can I let go of? So in November, when everybody's all focused on holidays, you go ahead and get focused on holidays too, but you spend time to yourself, with yourself, by yourself, being compassionate with yourself, really putting in the perspective that you need to see what needs to be let go, what needs to be released. All right? All right. December. A wake-up call. Okay, so I know there are a few of you that have watched this video that aren't going to be doing anything I said because the change is so dramatic, it terrifies you because you are so stubborn. You're like, Maria, you can just go shove that shit in your cart and you can drag it wherever you want because I ain't gonna do it, right? So, for those of you who aren't doing it, it's going to be your wake-up call. This year is going to suck for you. Those of you that have done it, it's your wake-up call. And how is it your wake-up call? because aren't you happy being this? Aren't you happy keeping your boundaries so that way you have time to be just sitting back and luxuriating? You have time to sit in the hot tub or a bubble bath. You have time to read your book. You have time to light a bunch of candles and meditate. You have time doing what you love to do. Okay? You have time doing what you need to do. If all you're doing is working for everybody else, and I don't mean like in an actual job, but I mean you're always taking care of everybody else's things because you get it done. When are you taking care of yourself? When are you filling your own cup? The wake-up call is saying either you haven't been doing it, wake up, you're going to be very, very frustrated soon, or it's saying, great job, you have done it. Look at how you have time to take care of yourself now. Okay? So December's wake-up call is either yay for you or, okay, so we're going to do all of this again next year. All right? So, my bulls, this is your 2019 year in advance reading. As I said, it is a reading, a general reading for all bulls. If a lot of this makes sense to you, but some of it doesn't, and you need a specified reading just for you, you can message me, you can email me, or you can go to the website and buy your reading. All right? If you like this reading, but you're not really, I don't care what 2019 holds for me, I trust this reading. I want to know a particular situation. I want to know a specific month. I want to know a specific problem, situation, that sort of stuff. I've got readings for you. Go to the website. Go ahead and find what you want. If, how I said in the beginning, you are a Taurus Sun and you want to know what your moon and your risings are, you can go ahead and watch the other videos for those situations. If you're not sure, I'm going to try to have some stuff up, some readings available for that kind of stuff in the next couple of months, so watch that. Watch out for that. Subscribe, so that way you know when you have a new video to watch. And thank you so very much for letting me read for you. Have a great 2019.